Hi, I'm State Senator Joe Markley outside of the Senate chamber. Today is Wednesday and we're in session, the first real working session for the State Senate. The State House is in session downstairs. That bell you hear right now is calling them in to cast a vote. The business of the day today in both chambers is nomination of judges. And this is something I'm a little more involved in than I have been in the past because for the first time in my legislative career, I'm serving on the Judiciary Committee. Last week we had a couple of long days of public hearings on judges who had come up for renomination. And I have to say, I think it's one of the more difficult jobs to do as a legislator, not so much because the decisions are inherently difficult. A lot of the decisions we make are difficult. I feel like the information is harder to assess than it is in a lot of cases. I served up here years ago with a fellow named Doc Gunther, who was the longest serving legislator in the history of the state. And Doc felt that our whole judiciary review process was flawed and basically voted against all the judges that came before him simply because he didn't feel like he knew enough about them to cast an informed choice. So not knowing for sure, he decided that he was safer voting no. I understand what Doc is thinking because so much of what we hear is more or less anecdotal and so much of it is contradictory between one person and another. Nonetheless, it's a constitutional duty of ours. The vast majority of the judges are reconfirmed and that's what's happening here today. Speaking of committees, the proper committee work is now underway since the last time I spoke to you on opening day. I'm serving on Judiciary, on Appropriations, where I've always served as a legislator, on Public Health, and I'm now the Senate co-chair of the Human Services Committee, which I've served on throughout my career, and the Vice Chair of Planning and Development. As I think I said last week, planning and development is important to me because I'm very concerned about the growth of regionalization here in the state and the need to try to stop the creation of regional government and the use of a regional excuse to take more money away from the suburban towns and put them into the big cities. Between now and the next time we meet in 2 weeks, I'll be having a couple of more of my forums coming up, and I'll just mention them to remind you of them. We will be in Wolcott on Monday the 23rd at the Wolcott Town Hall at 6:30 p.m. That'll be Representative Rob Sampson and I. The next day, Tuesday the 24th, Stephanie Cummings, the new state representative from the east end of Waterbury, and I will be at the Waterbury Senior Center at 12:30 in the afternoon. And we're hoping to add another Waterbury event that will be in the evening, but this one is an afternoon meeting. And then the last of these town hall meetings will be in Cheshire on Tuesday the 31st at the Cheshire Town Hall, along with Len Suzio and other legislators at 6 p.m., not 6:30. Another event I have coming up that those who are interested might want to look at, put on their calendar, concerns the proposal for a convention of the states. This is an idea that has come up repeatedly over the last few sessions. It's an attempt to call a constitutional convention by having different state legislatures pass resolutions for a convention. And a number of state legislatures have done so. I've heard from a lot of very good friends on both sides of this issue. And for that reason, Rob Sampson and I thought we would have a meeting to talk about the idea, to let both sides make a presentation, to give our own point of view and give people a time to ask questions and express their own opinions. So that forum on the Convention of the States will take place on Thursday, February 9th at the Legislative Office Building up here in Hartford, right alongside the Capitol, and that will be at 5:30 in the afternoon on Thursday, February 9th. So if the Convention of the States is something that's interesting to you, please put it on your calendar and come up and join us. And if you are looking to find out what's going on, you can visit my website, senatormarkley.com. It's also a way that you can sign up for these videos if you're not already on the list. It has contact information for my number up here as well. I'll definitely be back in 2 weeks' time when we come back into the session to talk about the very important question of the essentially the refinancing of our pension obligations. That will be the topic when we reconvene on February 1st, and I will be talking more about that between now and then and possibly putting out a video. Thank you as always for your attention, and I'll look forward to talking to you again.